Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to cover a very interesting topic, and that is the newest four projects in Cap Cana you cannot miss when it comes to investment. We're going to be talking about new development areas of Cap Cana, some of the projects that are actually coming out with ocean views, which a lot of you have been waiting for, and a lot of different development areas for lots and just new areas in Cap Cana that it's a really good moment to invest in because it's very early to invest in all of those. So stay tuned and let's check all of them out. So the first area I wanted to discuss is a new area in Cap Cana that is called Ocean Lakes. Now, I believe I haven't discussed this in any of my previous videos, but Ocean Lakes is basically a new development area located in the marina of Cap Cana. To be more precise, it's located in the south side of the marina, and it's actually lots that are being developed, basically buildings that are being developed on the new lake. I don't know if some of you have visited Cap Cana before, but maybe in the past years when you came here, you had the chance to go to Blue Lake. Remember the Lago Azul in Cap Cana? Well, that is now being completely transformed. The lake is being expanded in a significant way, and on this very lake is where a lot of amazing new projects are coming that are going to have both views of the lake, of the Lago Azul, and views of the ocean as well. Lots in Ocean Lakes are premium lots that were sold. All of the lots have been sold to developers, and again, these projects are going to be launching on the market. And I wanted to mention, of course, the first ones that launched already, because of course, as any development area, the sooner you go into a project, the better, because with every new project that launches, of course, we see an increase in pricing as an area develops in Cap Cana, and I think anywhere else in the world. Just, it makes sense. So the first project that launched in Ocean Lakes is called Puerto Marina. Puerto Marina is a beautiful new project, again, that just came out about 2 weeks ago, roughly. It offers 2, 3, and even 4 bedroom units, and they have units, of course, facing different directions, and based on the direction, that's pretty much the view you're gonna have. So, right, just imagine that's the building on the very lake of Lago Azul that is being expanded once again. So you have units that are facing the front, facing the lake itself. What's going to be very nice on the Lago Azul, on the Blue Lake, what they're going to do, basically they're going to have these areas of private beach on the lake. So every project is going to have its own private beach area. And there's also going to be one common area, so to speak, with a beach club and some kind of commercial development in the middle as well. Not a building, of course, just a recreational / beach club area for all the visitors as well. But every single project is going to have their own little beach area on the lake. So once again, there's units that have views of the lake that are facing front, and also there's units that are facing the back, but the back is actually the units that have views of the Juanillo Bay area of the private beachfront homes in Juanillo. And starting floor number 3 and up, you have beautiful ocean views, because remember the Juanillo Bay is a development of 2-story single-family homes, right? So nothing will ever be built there that could potentially block your view from the back. So getting a unit on the lake on any floor, beautiful views, right, of the lake and the beach and that whole area they're building. Or if you're getting a unit in the back, definitely get one that's on the 3rd floor and up to get those beautiful ocean views that will never be obstructed. As far as amenities goes, of course, beside having that little private beach area on the lake, they will also have 2 pools. So one is going to be on the ground level, overlooking the very lake, and the other one that's going to be beautiful is it's a rooftop infinity pool in the back, overlooking that ocean area of Juanillo Bay itself. It is also going to have a meeting room, a co-working area, just like, well, most projects do, and something also very unique to this project, besides the lounge and all the other amenities they're going to have on the very rooftop, on the 7th floor of the building. They're actually going to have a paddle court on the 7th floor of Puerto Marina, and you can play paddle and with amazing ocean views, which is something extremely unique, of course. As you guys know, paddle is ridiculously popular in the Dominican Republic, and having a court on top of a building overlooking the ocean I'm sure it's going to be booked 24/7, right? So it's a beautiful venue they're building, and again, they're using a lot of the rooftop area of the very building to take advantage of the amenities and put a lot of the amenities with the views. And of course, the project is going to have a private gym, It's also going to have a little kids area, playground, and it's also going to have a private cinema room that you can reserve, of course, and watch anything you wish to watch. On top of this, it's important to mention again the very location of the project. Besides having the beautiful views, it's very unique because it's in the marina of Cap Cana. The marina, of course, globally is always a very, very good location to be in every way, appreciation wise. Just properties located in such amazing locations with views that will never be obstructed are unique and rare nowadays, which again contributes a lot to the scarcity of such unique projects that are very, very much in high demand nowadays, right? So everybody now is looking for a project with ocean views, water views, and really there's just no more land for it, right? But Ocean Lakes is that one of the last areas where you can have beach proximity, beach views, and lake views, right? So it's very, very unique and a great investment opportunity as well. And guys, to check out the pricing of the project and the units that are still available, so essentially 2-bedroom units here start at about $592,000. That is a 2-bedroom unit. As far as the size goes, that is roughly 1,500 square feet for a 2-bedroom unit in Puerto Marina. Another very important thing I wanted to mention that is also very unique when it comes to this project is that they will have penthouse units on 2 and 3 stories even, right? So you can have a penthouse on 3 levels or 2 levels. And those, of course, do come with a private jacuzzi or a plunge pool. On top of that, some of these penthouses are going to have elevators that actually take you directly to your unit. So the elevator basically opens up and you're in your apartment, right? So definitely resembles projects in of course, Miami and other parts of the world. But a great unique opportunity, of course, to get involved in something that has a private elevator. And those units, of course, are always going to be worth a lot and appreciate a lot in the future as well. Now, to continue with, for example, just to give an idea of these penthouse prices, and again, these penthouses either come with ocean or with lake views. So if we have, for example, lake view, a frontal lake view, a unit that does come with a private elevator, a 3-bedroom penthouse, size roughly 4,000 square feet, we're looking at about 1.5 million for a penthouse on 3 level, a private elevator, jacuzzi or plunge pool, right? So a lot of different amenities of the apartment itself. And again, having that private elevator definitely does change a lot. As far as other penthouses go, so we have some starting at 1.2 roughly. So a rough range of penthouses is from 1.2 to 1.5 roughly. Again, depends on the very unit. And when it comes to 3-bedroom units, those are starting in the 750,000 range roughly. Again, it really depends on the level you're on. I can also see some in the 670,000 range if you're on the ground floor, right? So of course, the higher you go, the higher the price goes because your views do change significantly. As far as payment plan goes in Puerto Marina, so it's the typical, one of the most common payment plans you'll find. It's actually very flexible as well because it's $5,000 to reserve it. It is 20% down within 30 days, as usual in most projects. Then we have 40% in installments over the construction period, and then it's 40% upon delivery, which of course you can also finance with the local bank once the property is built. The estimated delivery for Puerto Marina is April 2030, right? So that's a long time. It also gives you a lot of flexibility when it comes to paying it off because you do have a lot of the installments in between, and in general just a lot of months, right? So you can divide the installments into and have a flexible payment plan that will guarantee you can get into such a luxury product and be able to pay it off, of course, in time. So April 2030 is the estimated delivery. And guys, for those of you that are new to the channel and not too familiar with real estate in the Dominican Republic, I wanted to mention that all of these projects in Cap Cana that are destined for tourism, right, so that are residential projects, they do come with something called CONFOTUR, which is the property tax exemption. So you would not be paying property tax as the first owner in these projects for the period of 15 years, right? And those 15 years start from the moment you get your title, from the moment you transfer your title, is when you will have the 15 years of tax exemption, essentially, that you wouldn't pay property tax at all. And not only that, you're also exempt from paying the largest closing cost in the Dominican Republic, which is 3% to transfer the property title into your name or your company name or however you want to structure it. That is something done with the local attorney as well. But again, you're exempt from these 2 taxes. The 3% is a one-time tax, so that's only when you're buying a property, and you're exempt from that one as well, right? So those are That's just an important benefit that some people do not know about, but of course, it helps tremendously with investment, of course, because you do not pay property taxes, which is a beautiful thing anywhere in the world. And of course, it's something that does drive a lot of the tourism, a lot of the investment to the country. Just the fact that all of these new projects in Cap Cana do have the CONFOTUR tax exemption. And guys, the second project that I wanted to talk about that is also brand new to the market is called Porto Navio. Porto Navio is a project that's also been released about a week ago, right? So it's a very, very new project on the market. It is located in the same area of Ocean Lakes. So again, a lot of the views from the building itself are going to be either towards the beach of Juanillo Bay area, or they're going to have the view of the marina itself and the lake on one side as well. Right, so it is a brand new project. It actually consists of two buildings, not just one. There's buildings basically A and B. Building A has 62 apartments in total, whereas building B is a bit more exclusive and it only has 15 apartments. So again, important to mention, you guys can rent these buildings out. You can rent, you can rent the apartments out, but some of the units are simply being built a bit more spacious, a bit more convenient, right? For example, if you're getting a 4,000, 5,000 square unit, where might as well, take advantage and use it more so than rent it, even though you can. It is something that makes more sense a little bit for the personal usage as well. In Porto Navio, we are going to have 1, 2, 3, and 4 bedroom apartments. Unlike Puerto Marina, where you do not have 1 bedroom, here you do. So you can also get those if you were looking for a 1 bedroom apartment. But again, they do have very spacious apartments and very spacious options as well. For all of you that are looking for a bit more space, which nowadays in new construction is not too common, in Porto Navio you can definitely get it. Again, depends on the apartment type you go for. Guys, as far as amenities go, there's going to be, of course, a private gym on site. They're going to have an infinity pool as well. They're going to have a kids pool, kids area, barbecue area, right? So all the most common amenities that you can find. And we're also going to have underground parking, just like we do also in Puerto Marina. It is very important that, of course, all of these projects do come with underground parking because, well, in the Caribbean sun, might as well get your car covered most of the time. If you can, definitely do so, car or golf cart as well. And guys, something else I wanted to mention that is very, very important, that there's different rules to renting in Porto Navio. So for example, building A, you can definitely do short-term rentals, you can do long-term rentals, there's no restrictions on that end. However, in building B, which is the one that only has 15 apartments, short-term rentals such as Airbnb, VRBO are not allowed. This is only the second building of all the buildings in Cap Cana where they're not allowing short-term rentals, which again is good. As I was mentioning, for long-term living, for using the unit, it makes more sense. If you want to avoid Airbnb and a lot of different faces and renters, definitely building B is the right choice. Whereas in A, you can still do Airbnb. There's no restrictions, but B, no Airbnb is allowed. And guys, let's check out the pricing, the current pricing as of late March, right? So at the moment, 1 bedrooms are starting at 359,000 roughly. Now again, there's different pricing for 1 bedrooms. It all depends whether they have a view of the ocean or they have a view of the marina or no view whatsoever, right? So it depends on the level you are on. But they're starting at 359 in this project. Then we're looking at 2 bedroom units, which are starting at about roughly 480,000 approximately. And this, I'm talking about building A. Remember, there's 2 buildings, building A of 62 apartments, building B of only 15. So in building A, these are the starting prices. And we're looking also at, let's say, penthouse units. We have penthouses here, 2 and 3 bedroom penthouses that are starting at about 800,000 roughly, which is actually a pretty good price for a penthouse in the marina. With views of the pool and with views of the ocean as well, again, depending on the particular unit you choose. And those are still available. So roughly about 20% of building A has been sold so far. So there's still very, very good availability in building A. You should definitely, if you're looking to get a unit in the marina, this is a really good moment to get it. Because again, you have time to pay it off and you can get lock in a really good price right now. And when it comes to building B, which is the one that's more exclusive, it only has 15 apartments in total. There actually, as of right now, 60% of that building has been sold. But there's still a couple of units left, of course. There, just so you guys have an idea, 3-bedroom units are starting at about 966,000, roughly about 2,800 square feet. And 4-bedroom units are starting at about 1,087,000, and that's roughly 3,300 square feet, right? So spacious units. And again, this building B is more exclusive. I believe it's more for long-term usage as well, because it just makes sense, if you're gonna get a spacious unit in a small building, well, might as well take advantage of it as much as possible. I know a lot of you were looking to move here as well, and that is a perfect location to live in year-round. And guys, as far as the payment plan goes, it's a little bit different here, but it does follow similar structure. So to reserve a unit, depending on the building you choose, it's either 10,000 or 25,000. The building B, that is a smaller and more exclusive one, that's 25,000 to reserve a unit, and building A is $10,000. But again, that's just a reservation. After that, it's basically 20% at signing within 30 days, 40% during the construction in installments, and 40% at delivery. So the same as Puerto Marina. What changes basically is just the reservation amount, depending again on the building you choose. And of course, the delivery date for this one estimation is mid-2029, so slightly earlier than Puerto Marina, but more or less, in the similar timeline of delivery. As far as beach access goes, because the reality is that these projects are in the marina, they're on the lake of Lago Azul, but where is the real beach access, right? Because the units that are facing the ocean, facing the Juanillo Bay area, you can't really go and swim in Juanillo Bay because those are private beachfront homes. However, when it comes to beach access, you have to remember that these projects are in the south of the marina. What do we have in the south of the marina? We have beaches as well. So we have the Api Beach, spectacular beach that you can access. I believe it's maybe 30 seconds from the project driving, or in a golf cart, maybe 3 minutes at most. You have the beautiful Api Beach, and you also have the marina beaches right next to it. Basically, those are the coves that are in the south of the marina. I'm gonna attach a video here so you guys can check it out of the whole tour of the south of marina that I've done, where you can see these beaches and see the beaches that you will have access to that are the closest to the projects. But of course, besides these, you can always go to Juanillo and use the Juanillo beach as well, which is the largest public beach we have in Cap Cana. And besides these beaches that you would have free access to, so to speak, we also have the beaches, the beach of St. Regis, the beach of Eden Rock, that you can access by getting a membership in one of these hotels, right? Those are, of course, high-end beaches, very exclusive, beautiful service, great restaurants and bars. Not something that you would need per se if you're coming here, of course, maybe 2 weeks a year. But if you're spending longer time here, for example, a couple of months or 6 or 7 months of the year, it is nice to also get access to those because they're absolutely tremendous. I myself recently got a membership of St. Regis. I absolutely love the beach service, food, everything is beautiful. And the same goes for Eden Rock because, again, it's a different level of standard. Not to mention these existing beaches that we have free access to are beautiful, but when you spend all the time here, you always want something more and something better, and it doesn't really get much better than Eden Rock and St. Regis. And continue with the new projects in the area of Cap Cana. So in one of the previous videos that we've done recently, I've talked about a new area of development in Cap Cana as well, which is called Lake District, right? Which is where we're going to have a lot of the commercial development going on. So not to sound like I always speak about residential, we're also having new commercial developments launch, which is also a great investment opportunity for somebody looking to diversify their assets a little bit in a different way than just sticking to residential all the time. In Lake District, in the video that I've done in my channel previously, I've spoken about the area in detail, what's coming there. Basically, it's 12 commercial buildings, out of which so far one had been released at the time of the recording of the video. That one building right now is sold about 90% for the commercial spaces. But about, again, 2 weeks ago, roughly, the second building was released in the area of Lake District, which is also, again, a fully commercial building. Great investment. You have commercial spots starting at about $200,000 with a very good payment plan, of course. So it's something you can use to diversify your assets, as I was mentioning, and it's a different type of product. There's definitely going to be, there already is, but there's a lot of demand for commercial spaces in Cap Cana as the community grows, as we get those 8,000 to 10,000 units delivered in the next 5 years, residential. a lot of people, there's going to be a lot of foot traffic, there's going to be a lot of people, and everybody's going to be looking for commercial spaces. Even now they're looking for commercial spaces, and what we have now is just basically fishing lodge, which is very saturated with commercial spots, as you know, and it's where we have the most foot traffic as of now. But in the near future, within the next 5-6 years, everything's going to change drastically, as it's been changing every single year in Cap Cana, and we're definitely going to need a lot of the commercial spaces, which is why Cap Cana decided to launch the area of Lake District, and developers started launching commercial buildings there, as well as, again, it's a really different type of investment, but something that's going to be highly, highly necessary in Cap Cana in the near future. So this second building that was just launched is called Meridiano 18. Meridiano 18. I always like to pronounce it in the Spanish way, in the Dominican way, because that's basically how we pronounce most of the projects with these names. But again, in English it will be Meridiano 18. It is a beautiful building which actually does have commercial spaces dedicated for a supermarket as well. Yes, you heard that right. Supermarket in Meridiano 18. They also have a large commercial space for a gym, so essential amenities. And on top of that, of course, for different restaurants and bars, they also have such spaces for that as well. And guys, because these buildings have such high demand when it comes to commercial, typically from the moment they launch, they sell immediately about 50% of the building, because they're very attractive prices and people want to get into these, as fast as possible. So essentially here we still have good availability left, and these are starting at about 221,000 for a commercial space. The size is roughly 700 square feet. And it's also important to mention that when it comes to commercial spaces and construction of commercial spaces, these get delivered to you in gray work. And the person you rent the space to, they have to finish, they have to install the floor tiles, they have to finish, any kind of design they want. But they do not come with, for example, floors installed or anything else, right? It comes in gray work. Of course, you get the doors and windows and everything else, but the finishes, interior finishes, are not delivered to you, because that is, at least in this country, it's something that pertains to the renter of the very commercial space, right? So they are the ones that go in, finish that off, which again is much easier for you, because of course, if you get a residential apartment, you have to go through detailed inspections of finishes and everything else, which gets a bit more complicated, of course, but it's a completely different type of product. In commercial, it's much simpler. You do not get those kind of finishes, you just get it in great work, and your tenant actually is the one who has to finish it off completely. So as I was mentioning, they started about 221,000 roughly for 700 square feet. You have different types of units. What's available at the moment is starting from the second floor up. The ground floor, of course, has been entirely sold, and that's where we have the bank, the gym, a 2-story gym, the mini market, right? All of that. All those spaces have already been taken, which is great news, because we already have a tenant, for those businesses that are going to open up in the future. But on the floors 2, 3, 4, and 5, we actually do have a lot of office spaces that you can get, again, starting in those 200,000 range. And guys, as far as the delivery date for Meridiano, the estimated delivery is end of 2029, beginning of 2030. So that does give you a lot of time to pay it off. And the payment plan is as follows. So it's $5,000 to reserve your commercial space. Then it's 20% down, as is usual, right, for most projects here. So 20% within 30 days, 50% in construction, and 30% at delivery. So it is a little more during the construction period, but remember, it's $200,000 spread over 4 years, fairly easy to pay off and secure your commercial spot early on. Something that I wanted to mention and clarify as well, that a lot of people that do know about the CONFOTUR tax exemption just assume it applies to absolutely every project that comes out. That is not the case, because remember, the CONFOTUR is basically intended for residential and tourism projects. When it comes to commercial spaces, those are not residential tourism projects, and there actually the CONFOTUR law does not apply. So you would not have the tax exemption there. You would have to pay the 1% property tax, and you would have to pay the 3% to transfer the title into your own name or your company name. So that's something important to mention, because a lot of people believe also commercial spaces have CONFOTUR, but they do not. Only residential projects do. And last but not least, I wanted to talk about project number 4 in this video, which is actually residential lots. For those of you that have a bit more knowledge on Cap Cana, Cap Cana does periodically release new residential lots that you can purchase early on, get a payment plan with Cap Cana over several years, and build your house or just hold the lot and sell it in the future to make profit, right? That's why every time Cap Cana releases these new residential areas, people jump on it very fast to reserve their lot, which again is a great investment, you know, just to hold and flip in the future or even build your own house down the line. So the newest residential area of lots that was released in Cap Cana is called Golden Lake Estates. Why it's called Golden Lake Estates is because it's actually located on the very lake, one of the many beautiful lakes that we have here in Cap Cana. The location of this is actually right next, very close to the new water park of El Dorado in Cap Cana. Again, for those of you that have watched one of my previous videos, I was talking about the whole area of El Dorado. I was talking about Golden Lakes, which are condominiums on the lake, and Lake District as well, with the commercial center and commercial buildings. So very close to that, in close proximity on the other side of the El Dorado water park, is where we have Golden Lake Estates. However, what happens here is that the reservation process is a bit different. So it's basically, these lots basically right now are in the pre-sale stage. How it works at the moment is that you can reserve your turn, you can reserve your spot before the official launch event takes place. What I mean by that is, for example, you're interested in potentially getting a lot in Golden Lake Estates. What you do now is you do not select the lot at the very moment. You basically pay $25,000, which are fully refundable, to secure your turn in line for when the official launch event comes, so you can actually choose the lot that you want. Again, when on the day of the event, that's going to be in summer this year. But as of now, people are just basically reserving their turns, their spots in line. So once the official launch happens, you know, you can come and choose the one, depending of course on which spot you have in line. For example, I'm gonna do a real case scenario so you understand how it works. Let's say I want to get a lot in Golden Lake Estates. What I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna just deposit $25,000 and get my turn in line. Let's say I am number 10 in line. On the official launch event, which is going to be summer this year, I come and I wait for my turn in line to come, because 9 people ahead of me are going to have the opportunity to choose the lot they want within Golden Lake Estates. For example, if I come and my turn comes, right? I'm number 10. I come and I see what's available. If I don't find something I like, I don't like what I'm seeing of the remaining lots, I say, okay, you know what? I don't like it. I get my money back. And that's it. It's fully refundable. But of course, if there is a lot you like, you can proceed on the very spot and secure that lot that you like. As of right now, there's about 40 reservations, 40 turns, but there's still lots available, so you can still get in line, because perhaps not all of the 40 are going to be proceeding. And there's going to be, again, more opportunities for you to choose the lot you want. To give you general ideas of the pricing, even though the official list hasn't been released, the lot sizes are roughly 14,000, 15,000 square feet, more or less. That's the average lot size. There's going to be a couple of lots that are going to be almost an acre. There's going to be 6 of those in total, which of course are going to be pricier, but the vast majority of lots is roughly 15,000 square feet, again, on the very lake waterfront, where you can of course build a beautiful villa. As far as the price points go, they're going to start roughly at about 650,000, again, depending on the particular lot size, but this is more or less the starting price point. And as I was mentioning, there's going to be a payment plan. As of right now, it hasn't been released yet, but there is going to be a payment plan with Cap Cana, as is very typical with Cap Cana. Every time they release a new residential area of lots, there's always a payment plan you can follow. Sometimes it's over 3 years, sometimes it's over 5 years. It really depends on what they decide to do with the particular residential area, but there is going to be a payment plan you can follow. And again, you can build your house while you're following the payment plan. And guys, that was it for today's video on the top 4 projects that are new in Cap Cana that you can definitely get an early entry in. If you would like more information on any of the 4, make sure to drop a comment down below and I'll make sure to send you the information on any particular one. And also, if you would like to join my mail list, where I send all the interesting information on new projects, new launches, and just inside information on Cap Cana, you can do so. Just drop a comment down below and I'll make sure to include you also in my mail list so you can receive all of these important updates before I even post a public video on YouTube. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you would like to keep seeing more of these videos, make sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And as usual, I look forward to seeing you all in my future videos as well. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.